Honore, welcome back for part 4 of our mini series on the best-selling book formula. Good to see you. Again, it's been what, 15 seconds since we
But
talked?
maybe
Maybe?
18.
Maybe something like that.
Yes.
So in this segment, we're talking about key number 3 that you mentioned in your book, the best-selling book formula, and that is making sure your book is easy to do. And this, I think, might be my favorite key that you talk about in here because it gets down to brass tacks, where you're giving the reader something that they can do to actually put the book into practice. So kind of unpack this for us if you can. What does it mean to make your book easy to do?
You want the advice that you give in your book easy for the person reading it to apply without any more conversation with you.
Hmm,
So
that's
easy
really
to
good.
do means I can do it. I can take what you say, Kent, in your book, and I can apply it to my life or my business, my relationship, my bank account, whatever. And I can get the same or better results that you got with simply with your book. And that's it.
Hmm, that's really, really powerful. It's almost counterintuitive because so many times in the nonfiction book world, there's this thinking out there that you should make your book kind of the first step in a long journey, and that the book is good, but we're really going to give you the good stuff in a coaching program or in a workbook or a journal or some other kind of format, and we're going to hold back the good stuff from the book. But you're saying just put it out there, give them
Yeah.
something that they can put into practice and really start doing immediately.
Yeah. I'm a fan of the multiple streams of income and
Absolutely.
having
Absolutely.
courses based on books. There's the best-selling book formula mini course, obviously. There, right? We're gonna put it there. But if your reader can't duplicate and potentially exceed your results, they're not going to be happy.
Hmm.
Right? This is the opposite. This is the worst selling book formula, is to make it so that
Right.
your reader feels um incompetent or incapable. And so what you want to do is provide a process, a formula, some way for them to take what you figured out and put it into practice. Just like what I've done with the best-selling book formula. Without talking to anyone, someone can read this book and change the way they are writing their books
Okay.
and put it into practice. There are other things they can do. There are other places they can go. I actually created the best-selling book formula action guide, which is free with the bonuses with the book. I didn't create a paid product this time. I just created a kind of a workbook of sorts and an
Okay.
action guide so that people could take action on this process and apply it to their book. So of course there can always be more, but if I was like, I've got the best-selling book formula, here's my book on it, neener neener, you can't have it.
Right.
Wait, that would not be good. That is actually counterintuitive. So I love it when people have other places that I can go if I want to, but I also want to feel like I can be successful just with getting the book.
So this is almost in a way kind of like, not to pick on Marvel movies, but I'm going to pick on Marvel movies a little bit and really superhero movies in general, where like DC and Marvel, they're really bad about, we're going to give you kind of a half-baked story, but we're really wanting you to stick around for this movie because we're going to give you the good stuff, like in the Avengers movies. That's where the real good stuff's going to happen. But this is kind of like a halfway movie, where this is kind of just a promo for movies that are coming later and for other shows and whatever. And sometimes we do that with books, don't we? Where we're going to give you something, maybe a value in this, but our other good stuff is just going to be in various other kinds of places.
Well, I don't know that you can give everything in a book. That's the first thing, but you want to give everything
Right,
you
right.
can without having a conversation. That's my advice. That's my perspective on it, is give your readers everything you can possibly give them in this medium. And there will be more, just like there's more in this conversation than there is in the book, because we're able to have a conversation. You're
Right,
able to
right.
ask me specific questions about how it came to be and what was my process and what is my process that I recommend to other people. I'm not having a conversation that's two-sided in a book. I'm having a one-sided conversation. I'm giving directions, I'm giving insight, I'm providing
Mm.
information. So obviously the coaching program is going to be better. the
Yes.
course is going to be better because it's interactive, it's deeper, it's broader. But if someone is holding back something that they could put in a book so that they can sell a course, I don't know that that's for the good of all concerned, right? That's not going to build goodwill and better friendships, Kent. That's going to cause someone to be irritated and leave a one-star
Right.
review,
Now,
right?
what
Which
if
is
somebody has already drafted a book, they've already outlined it, they've written it. Can this process be reverse engineered a little bit? Or maybe that's not the right term. Can it be baked into a book that already exists but isn't published yet? Can somebody maybe find some ways to make the book easy to do, even though the whole book's maybe done and framed out?
yes, sure. So you want to think about it from the perspective of if you've already written it, make sure that you um, apply the analyzer to your book and maybe go back and make sure that your longer words are shorter.
Hmm.
Make sure that your book is easy to remember by making sure that the title is interesting, unique, connect things that go together. Your title, is it the best one? Is your subtitle the best subtitle? Is it meeting the promise? All of those sorts of things. And is there a way to add in, and this is the easy to do part, is there a way for you to add in a formula, a 1, 2, 3 step process, or like in the Miracle Morning, the lifesavers? I'll
Hmm.
made a word out of it. Can you take the word kiss and make it mean something else? Right? Or can you take an acronym that could apply to your book? I actually had someone, an advanced reader to this book, go, it did everything except it didn't have an acronym. And I
Hmm.
was like, I couldn't come up with an acronym, kids. Like I got the 4 keys. I kept it short, right? It should be easy to remember, all the things, right? But there was no acronym. So I gave you a process instead of an acronym. But if
Yeah.
you can create an acronym out of it, then all the better.
Not everything needs an acronym. I mean, if
Right.
it works, it's great. If it doesn't work, you can't really force it and just have these convoluted words or something just to have a cool acronym. But when it works, it works.
Right. RRDS doesn't spell anything.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure what that spells, but I think this is pretty easy to remember, though. You've taken this as far as you can possibly humanly take it by baking 4 things into this book, and you've actually made this process. This is kind of meta. You've made the process easy to remember. It's like the
Right.
book on how to make your book
Right.
better is making it better. So
Right. Right.
it's
So
like the
so
multiverse.
yes, exactly. It's like, are we here again? Right? Is it deja vu all over again kind of thing? But that's what you're saying is if you already have a book and you look at it and you go, gosh, now what? Now what do I do? I'm like ready to go into the production phase. How do I do it? Make sure that your book title is engaging, is interesting. Make sure
Yeah,
that you've got
yeah.
something in the book that people will be, even if it's just the book title, even if it's just the 4 hour work week. I think the acronym for the 4 hour work week is deal, but I don't remember what it stands for. I don't have to remember that. I just need to remember the 4 hour work
Hmm.
week because then I can go to my bookshelf and I can open it up and I can take action on it. I don't need to remember anything else about it.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about the acronym in the 4-hour work week. I haven't read the book in probably 8 years, 7 or 8 years. I should
Yeah.
I should go back and look at that now, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Well, in the
I
next
put
part,
it,
we're oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you, go ahead.
oh, it's in here somewhere.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, uh, this has been a lot of fun. We've got one more episode to go, and I'm super pumped for this one because we're gonna be talking about easy to share. So, I will wrap up this one. English is my 14th language apparently today.
Well, you're
Haven't had
doing
any
fine. You
caffeine
sound
in a
like an
while.
idiot.
So I'm just going to leave this in there because I don't try to have a perfect podcast. But I will see you guys in the next episode.